Greg Andrick here, bringing you another Business Freedom Conversation post. So 2024 graduates are considering and including their student loan repayment obligations in their career choices. They're planning their careers around how they're going to pay off their student loans. Some of the graduates have monthly payments as high, or will have the monthly payments as high as $1,000 a month. And we're seeing this come forward with more and more businesses offering this as a benefit of contributing to the obligation to pay off the student loans. 56% of graduates are going to have student loans. And you'll see it all in the graphics. In fact, it's more than 56%. I think those are ones that are going to have significant loan payments. So take a look at this video from Yahoo Finance. It has the characteristics, and it's really part and parcel of the job market. It's been a tough job market for a couple of years. It's probably going to get tougher because millennials not only want a job where they feel that they're making a social contribution, but they have the need to consider these really large obligations they've incurred just to get the degree and to get the job. And that you as a business and an employer have to consider that to meet your needs for labor, for simply getting the job done. So take a look at this, and health companies are leading the way, followed by nonprofits and then by government entities. But I think this is going to be a bigger issue and a larger fringe benefit or direct benefit as we go forward. So take a look at the video. Coming up with something related to this can probably significantly improve your job ad responses. And this is something that's going on right now where 23% in August, 23% of small businesses stated that they got zero response to their job ads. So this kind of benefits being considered. You have to consider your reviews and what you look like on Glassdoor and all the other websites. But offering this is becoming increasingly important. Again, take a look at the video. I think you'll find it really interesting. This is Greg Andrick, the Business Freedom Conversation Post. We'll see you on the next one.
Graduates received, many of them will have to start making payments 6 months after graduation. According to a recent Handshake survey, nearly 60% of students expect to graduate with student debt. Of those respondents, nearly 70% say their loans will influence what job they take after graduation. Now, fortunately for them, more and more companies are taking this into consideration. As part of our week-long special Student Loan Smarter Strategies, we're going to be discussing how business plans to help student loan borrowers is Christine Cruz Vergara, Handshake Chief Education Strategy Officer. It's good to talk to you today. Let's talk about how companies are thinking about this, first of all. It feels like this is becoming increasingly part of the benefits package. What are you hearing from companies on how they're structuring this with the understanding that employees coming in are shouldering that load?
Yeah, this is a really big concern. And for the graduating class, they want to know that they have employers that care holistically about what this is going to look like for them. So just in the past year, we have seen the number of companies that have mentioned student loan repayment double on Handshake. And that's going to go a long way to attracting a lot of the recent graduates into their companies.
Yeah, Christine, how much do you see this potentially influencing the job search? How much of a priority is it here for these recent graduates?
Well, financial stability is the primary factor that the class of 2024 is really looking at as they think about where they want to go, how they want to start their career. So student loan repayment is a big piece of that. As we know, many of the students that are graduating are going to have loans upwards of sometimes over $1,000 a month. For an entry-level grad, that's a huge chunk of their paycheck. And so this is going to be a really big piece that will factor into their decision making. I think, again, you all mentioned at the beginning of the segment, 70% of those that are graduating with student loan debt say that this is going to influence the way that they think about their job choices and what companies they choose to go to.
So how are companies responding to this? I mean, is it structured similar to like a 401k where the companies are asking employees, look, how much is it that you have to pay? We can pay an X amount in relation to that.
It really varies company to company. So different organizations are structuring it differently. For some, it's about once you've given a certain number of years and investment in the company, they are willing to start paying a portion of your student loan. For others, it's if you've spent a certain amount of time, they'll help pay off whatever remaining debt you might have. For some, it's a little bit more like a matching, sort of like a 401k. So it really varies depending on the organization and the company.
Christine, the companies that are offering this, are you seeing any trends in terms of sectors, industries, some that are more likely to give this offering or have this offering versus others?
Sure. From our data, what we're seeing is actually that healthcare companies are rising to the top and mentioning student loan repayment more in their job descriptions. They come in at the very top of the list. You've got nonprofits that are coming in right after them, government coming in third, financial services, not surprisingly, is fourth, and then education kind of rounding out the top five. So those are the five main industries that we're hearing from the most. Now, that being said, my own personal experience is actually working with Travelers Insurance back when I was actually working in higher education and supporting students in their career journey. They were very early to the game in offering something like student loan repayment as a way to make insurance a more attractive industry for a lot of early graduates. As you can imagine, most students don't graduate from school thinking, I really want to work in insurance. So we saw some early partners that were thinking about this a long time ago, and now they have a lot of other colleagues that are catching up to that game.
Christine, you mentioned that more and more companies are offering this benefit. I wonder how much of this is in response to what has been a tighter labor market, that employees have the leverage to ask for this. How much of this do you think is just kind of where the trend is going? This is going to become the norm, sort of like just getting health care.
I do think it's going to become the norm. I also think one of the things that employers are really wising up to is that Gen Z, the newest generation of workers that are coming into the workforce, they care a lot about well-being. They care a lot about sort of the holistic person that is coming to work. And I think the pandemic played a really big role in that. So what we're hearing from a lot of employers and from a lot of students are questions about mental health, about well-being, and student loan repayment is part of that conversation as they think about their financial well-being. So all of these types of benefits are becoming more the norm as a new generation comes into the workforce.
Christine, is this just being offered to entry-level positions, entry-level employees, or is this type of offering here available to maybe those who have been out of school for 5, 10, 15 years?
For most of the companies, it's for anyone that has student loan repayment. So it would work for older and more seasoned workers that have been there for a few years, in addition to the early talent that is coming in right now.
It's interesting to see more and more companies moving in this direction. Christine Cruz Vergara, Handshake Chief Education Strategy Officer, gets to talk to you today.
All right, Yahoo Finance's